Hey, little good day, Lone Star Middle School students. Wow, it's an early morning. Haven't had coffee yet. It's time to get ready. Just like for you guys, getting ready for our assignment that we've been going on for 2 days, the atmosphere worksheets. After seeing a lack of effort yesterday, this assignment, I need to get this in. We need to have this done. So the only way for me to almost force you to do something is to turn it into a summative assignment. And, and since the only other summative assignment that we have that is going on right now is our data, so that would be all of the 80% of summative. But since this atmosphere group of papers is going to share that, then it would split the 80%. So it's now going to be worth 40% of your grade, a pretty massive part. And we'll have some more before the end of the school year. But I was not impressed yesterday with a majority of students who just didn't even look like they had done anything the first day, not even put their name on the paper. Uh, I would encourage you to open it in OneNote and then download it like I had showed you yesterday in yesterday's video, to double click on the icon right here and open it up in Word, and then use it in Word. And I'm going to go slowly through this process for a few minutes. I'm going to double click on that icon. You can see that Word's opening up right now. And once it opens up, then I'll be able to work within the document, and so the layers aren't shifting around. So obviously up top, you've got the possibility of deleting the words first and last name. You can type in your first name, and then you can move forward with finishing up the document. And I think that this yesterday, I typed in all periods, and then your key points go off to the right. I've seen a lot of you using the highlighter abilities up here within the word draw. In Word, you're able to highlight and color, which is awesome, so that you can be able to graph things with the data. A lot of the information, if you read these paragraphs, they provide you a lot of the information to answer the questions below. In the first step within this next page, page 2, is to plot the data on the graph in the worksheet and connect the adjacent points with a smooth curve. So read through the instructions carefully. This chart might present itself as a little more difficult than normal, but basically this is one long chart that they had to slice in half and move the right side here underneath my cursor to the right of the left side. So if you can see the altitude 0 through 48 here, you can see that it continues in this other column that says altitude 52 to 100, and that's measurement in kilometers. And the other measurement is also in metric system in degrees centigrade. So if you keep scrolling down, into question number 4 here, it says label the different layers, and you'll know which areas to label because you've read the paragraphs and done the intent questioning and pulling out the key facts. And then it talks about asking some more questions here. And then as you get down to the graph past the extension is how you get yourself an A. If you don't do the extended part, the highest grade you can get is a B. Extension is just that. It's an extension beyond the normal. And B is just a high normal. So within this graph here is where you're going to plot all those points from that graph. So splitting the screen, having the data chart beside the graph would make your life a lot easier. And you can see if you click on things within this worksheet, these highlighted corners, it allows you to copy and paste. It allows you to readjust and move things around. So perhaps opening up a new Word document and putting the graph beside the chart so that you can get that in there. Now let's say I was all done. I had finished that up. I had taken a look at the what I was going to grade here for the grading rubric. At first it was going to be formative, and now it's going to change to summative. It's not a radically difficult assignment. I just need to get done. So it's not going to be 20%. It's going to share in the 80% weight. Not that it is worth 80%, but it shares the 80% category with the data, which some of you also need to be working on, as well as some of the other older documents. So once you take a look at the standards here in terms of what the rubric says for what's going to be taken down, let's click on File, click on Save As. What that's going to prompt me to do is, where am I going to save this? Well, I'm going to make sure I save this in my Nampa School District OneDrive up here at the top, and I would save that. I would still call it the Layers of the Atmosphere. I have called my 8th grade folder Williamson Docs, so I'm going to save it in Williamson Docs, put it in my Science folder, and I've got a whole bunch of smaller folders, smaller in terms of being inside, so it would kind of have to be smaller. And this is a meteorological thing, so I'm putting it in my meteorology folder, and I'm going to click on, I'm going to give this a number, so just in case it needs a different title than something else. I'm going to click on Save, and hopefully your OneDrive from Microsoft being a little funky yesterday, hopefully it gets saved. And then I'm just going to close this document because I'm done. I'm just going to pretend that I did all the graphing and everything, and then I'm going to go back into my atmosphere page inside of my weather section, and I want to put my homework back in here. So I'm going to click up here on Insert. I'm going to go down to File, Printout. When I click on File, Printout, it's going to say, well, what file are you talking about? Well, I know that I had just saved inside my Williamson Docs folder on the OneDrive, inside of my Science folder, and remember, I put mine inside of my meteorological folder, and I should find Layers of the Atmosphere here. And I think I called it Layers Out of the Atmosphere 1 because I knew I had another one or two of those. So I'm going to double click on Layers of the Atmosphere, and then I'm going to insert that. As I wait for the inserting to occur, you should see the blue circle of effort from the computer, just waiting for it to appear. You can see that Microsoft is working, and hopefully soon it's printing all the documents inside, and you can see, boom, it has placed all of my documents in here. Let's go back up to where I had typed in my name to make sure this is the exact same document that I was working on. You'll have all sorts of information in there. But you can see I've got Tyler Williamson, period, all. So this is what happens when you work in Word. It becomes part of the document. And then when you bring it in as a file printout, it shows you the file. If you bring it as, if you go up here and click on Insert and File Attachment, all you're going to see is this symbol here. So then I would, as the teacher, have to go through and open every single document, and it would take an arduous amount of time. So please put it in there as a file printout so that I can quickly, once I get into OneNote, scroll through your document to make sure that you had participated. And if you're going to try to get the A, you got to participate in the extended part. Hope this goes well today, because tonight I start to grade this. 3 days on a worksheet that was supposed to only take 2. Some of you just need to, we only got a couple weeks left here. Let's power all the way through. Hopefully you guys have as much energy as you had for the ISATs, because the scores are starting to come back and it looks like you guys beat the state. Well, hopefully that's the case. You'll have all day in class to work on this. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you slept well. Hope you had some good food this morning. Yeah.